What's going on, people? How's it going tonight?
It's going good.
I'm
Going good.
pointing.
How you
I'm
doing?
pointing right, so that's a good thing. We got John from Fealy's Clutch. I misspelled it on my notification the other day. I said Fealy's Clutches. I was just thinking he was, plural, but he's Clutch. He's Fealy's Clutch. So I just wanted to put that out there. How you doing tonight, John?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Ken?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Had a pretty day. Pretty weird, but we don't need to get into it. Let's get some shout outs going. 666, first in, my buddy Nick. How's it going? Celtic Reptiles. How's it going? You've been here for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Heads and Tails. Shane, what's up? How's it going, Cat Eyes? You're usually here. I appreciate that. Stan, brother Stan, what's up, dude? Always here. Appreciate it. Rudy, how's it going, Rudy? I appreciate you. I can see you supporting. Holly, how's it going? Now, this lady here, Holly, we're going to pause for a second. This is one of the greatest people out there in the community. She does all my like artwork and like entrances and stuff, and she does a heck of a job. So, if anyone wants, some entry work on her podcast, even logos now she's doing. She just redid my logo. Hit her up. I mean, she's good at what she does. I love it. Morbid. What's up, Morbid? How's it going? Thanks for coming in. Hey, Kershay. How you doing? Blakers. What's up? Tim. How's it going, Tim? From Intrepid. And I think we're, Strictly Strange. How's it going, Strictly Strange Snakes? There's Gage. What up, Gage? There's another one of my boys, Gage. Dang, we got some people tonight. Moose, how's it going, Moose?
Man. It's awesome.
Ro's in the house. What up, Ro 5.0? Mr. Lynch, how's it going, Mr. Lynch? Beamer, Ryan Beamer, how's it going, dude? There's Bosa. What up, Bosa? We rocking tonight, guys. Thank you. It must be you. We ain't like this most of the time. Maybe I'm finally catching on, but we're caught up. So I'm not sure if you know how I run the show. The first part, what I do is I look into Morph Market News, which, by the way, there was no really Morph Market News this week. They kind of did an upgrade of that sales feature that they just added that I was talking about last week. They kind of went over it, showed you what exactly you can do with it with this option and the rules that it follows. And it's just a really cool feature. I mean, you could basically essentially put your animals on sale 4 times a year, every quarter. And, it's just another nice feature through Morph Market. So I went to the community and looking around on, podcasts and RGI, they put out a list of these genetic tests that you could do. And there's like 36 of them now. Have you seen the list?
I haven't seen the full list. There's a few that I've been watching closely, though.
I got the full list. I went and copied it down. Now, we're going to, also put it out there. But albino, we knew that. Candy and Toffee, of course, is now added to that. Lab albino, we knew. Ultramel, both lines. They got both lines of Ultramel figured out. But isn't there like 4 lines of Ultramel they're saying? They just said both lines there, but I heard there was 4 separate lines.
That I'm not sure.
We'll wait to find out on that. Monarch's available now. Pied, Clown, and DG A and B. Now, this DG thing, they're saying there's a DGC thing. And when it first came out, I thought that they were saying enhancer is this DGC gene. I don't think that's the case now. I think there's an unknown DGC gene that causes the DG morph that we'll know more in the future. But as of right now, it's just an unknown gene.
So talking to them on that, I've talked to them a couple of times, and other people that are constantly in their ear for the people that are in DG. So when you get the A and the B, obviously you need the A and the B for a visual representation, right? But the C, for some reason, makes it throw the A and the B at a higher percentage.
Higher expression AB.
So you're hitting that 50% like you would in a recessive, even though it's not recessive.
Right.
However you want to work it, right? I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to claim to know how all that works. But when you hit the C, instead of a 50%, you're looking closer towards 70%. And then we're also kind of looking at that golden hue versus that real bright, almost silver hue that you can get in some DG expressions. So I really think that the C is going to play into that, but it's going to take a lot more mapping, unfortunately. And until we do that, you can't say anything on it.
They're working on it, so I'm just kind of just reporting it as I see it, and just telling people to hold on because DG's not going nowhere.
Oh no, I'm working the crap out of it.
I got some. I'm not going to invest heavily in it right now, but I'm dabbling. I got my toe in the water. Cryptic is now available. Genetic Stripe, Sunset, Puzzle. They just got the puzzle test. VPI and TSK. I didn't even know they was working on the Exanthics, but VPI and TSK there. Hypo, Yellow Belly, Asphalt, Gravel, Spark, Spectre. Now, we're going to skip these for now, but they say something else, but then they go to Enchi, Black Pastel, Orange Dream, Leopard, Confusion, Red Stripe, Banana, Fire, and GHI. Now, there are 1 through 6. Super Secret Morph Complex number 1 through Super Secret Morph Complex 6. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm interested to see what that is. Like, I have no clue. Like, what do you think Super Secret is? Like these super secret genes that they're coming out with? Like, just hearing they got some super secret stuff coming out. What does that pop in your mind?
I'm gonna say that probably has to do with complexes, right? Like you're kind of like how they did the Yellow Belly complex. So they started with Yellow Belly, then they worked the entire complex. So I think you're gonna see the Hurricane Trick Blitz come out as one of those.
Right.
I think the entire chocolate complex, so chocolate,
Fighter.
Wookiee, potentially Shadow, everything else that's within that darker complex, I think you're going to see that come out.
What up, Elias? Thanks for
I'm
coming
not
in.
sure. It's interesting. I think it's a great way to market it, but I truly think it's going to be like the super secret stuff is going to be those complexes that we've been arguing about for so long. I think they're finally mapping all of it, and we're finally going to see, okay, are these truly the same gene, or are these different lines, or what exactly is going on?
Exactly. What's one morph you would like to see them add?
There's so many, man.
I'm going to say Blade, because there's so many people out there that don't want Blade in their clown. And
so easy to see, though.
Clown is becoming really, really, really much a staple for even like a homeowner. Like they're becoming more reasonable for like a pet snake. I kind of want to know if it's in there. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people want busier pattern clowns now, and you can get one of these blades that look amazing in this snake, but it's throwing low pattern and combos, and I don't want that.
I gotta go back to the Hurricane.
Right.
I want to see Hurricane, Blitz, and Trick mapped out and tested. Like that's a big one, because I used to be in Blitz. I got out of it, and then I started working with one of my partners, and now we only do Hurricane. But it's just like I'm seeing and still comparing everything, like combos from the Hurricane to the other two, and I'm in the middle of the road. Like Yeah, I'm gonna say I honestly think they probably are the same thing. I'm gonna get flack for that because
I think it too.
it's gonna screw the price tag, right? But
Yep.
honestly, I think it's the same thing, but it's localized to a specific line.
Right. Have you heard what they said about gravel and asphalt? This is another one on a couple episodes back. They was talking about how they suspect black pastel and cinnamon are going to be like the gravel and asphalt, to where it's the same gene but a slightly different mutation in a different spot. Like, and they're saying that that's kind of, I feel, what's going to go on with these super secret things. Like you said, it's going to be the complexes, and things like asphalt and gravel. They, it was not last, but the episode before last. They said it was the same gene mutation, but in a slightly different place in the slots. So, I mean, if it's testing different, is it a different gene?
I mean, once you map it out, that's a hard one to say too. Like genetics are hard, and I'm not a
What's up, Big D?
geneticist, so I can't really say it. But all it takes technically to be a different line or a different genetic is one or two allele changes, right?
Right.
So it's not sitting on that same point on the allele, or it's a different chromosome within the allele, or however it works. It's technically, I would think, a different mutation because it would have to map out completely. Now, if it's sitting in the same position, but maybe that's how you get the lines, like it's the same thing, but the mutation or like the position that it sits in is a little bit different. But I don't know, man. Like that's a hard one. I would be interested with the gravel and asphalt though, because the way people jump after asphalt, and it's gorgeous. Like I'm not gonna lie,
I have them
those
both.
oranges are freaking out.
I have them both.
Outstanding. I love them.
And male and female. I have a gravel male and female, and I have an asphalt male and female. I totally intend on making super asphalts and super gravels. I want them.
Stay with it.
Yep.
I'm telling you right now, those super asphalts are they're insane in person.
They're nice. I'm going to go back over this list because I'm seeing some questions coming in here. Shane, yes, puzzles 100% out. You could order the puzzle test. Ro, I think he was asking about acid and confusion. Yes, confusion, acid, and static are out there. Now, they did say the line they're testing for is confusion. They don't know if acid and static are going to be exact. We're expecting them to come back exact, but they're saying they've ran tests on confusion. They need static and acid shed tests. So if you have static and acid, send them. But I'm going to redo this list because there was a bunch of chatter out there. I don't think everyone heard the complete list, but albino, candy, and toffee, lab albino, ultramale, both lines, monarch, pied, clown, DGA and DGB, cryptic, genetic stripe, sunset, which I needed that one, puzzle, VPI, TSK, hypo, yellow belly, asphalt, gravel, spectre, spark, enchi, black pastel, OD, leopard, confusion, red stripe, banana, fire, GHI, and 6 super secret morph complexes. So that's what they're testing for now. The super secret ones, of course, we don't know, but everything that that's out there that's one of these genes you could test for today. You can send a test in and say, is this at or confusion? Yes or no. Sunset, puzzle. Because I'll have
GHI. Like,
I don't think GHI is necessary. Could you really not see that in some genes?
Well, I mean, So in some combos, so like take the Kraken, for instance, right? Like
Right.
you don't know that GHI is in there.
Right.
I mean, you know, because Justin's proven it, but you looking at it, you wouldn't know. There's no patterning on the side that would tell you that that's GHI. But
And banana kind of confuses me too. I mean, like you
yeah,
can't tell something's a banana.
that's an interesting one. Yeah.
I mean, maybe that has to do with them trying to figure out like how to predict female. I know it's all figured out already, and there is
Well, they're
a
doing that sex test too, so
yeah.
maybe that was part of the sex test.
I know there is a formula to follow to make just strictly female makers or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't quite understand everything. Billy did a rant on it one night. Well, not a rant, a breakdown of how it works. And he was talking so fast, like I kind of got it, but I still don't have it all down. But yeah, this is just really interesting. Anything that RGI puts out, like I'm glued to, I'm drawn to. I got notifications turned on when that thing comes up, bling. I'm there watching. Like I just have to. All right. Yeah. All right. So that's all I had on the community. We'll get into some of the questions now. This is more the part where you get to talk. I think I've talked enough. But number one, introduce yourself. Who are you? Where you're from? How long you been doing this?
Where I'm from? No, I'm just playing. I feel like I'm in the military board again.
What up, Vern?
My name is John
How's it going?
Fealy, Fealy's Clutch. I'm from El Paso, Texas, and I've been keeping again for 7 years. This is my third year breeding. I worked with animals from like 14. I'm not gonna age myself yet. I'm getting gray, so I've been working
Me too,
with
buddy.
animals for a couple decades, off and on. Yeah.
What up, Gold Coast?
So I worked in a pet store as a kid when I was in high school, and then I went into the military, and I stepped away, but I helped friends with their stuff, and then when I decided my time in the military was done, I got back into reptiles.
Cool. So what's your normal day like?
It depends on the week. So
What up, Fries?
right now it consists of waking up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, waking my kids up, getting them ready for school, getting them to school, coming through, doing my water checks, doing spot cleaning, and then helping the wife with the honey-do list at home, and going to the school, picking the kids up, going to my class because I'm in school again to get my MBA at night, and then I get done with my classes at 7 o'clock at night, and then I come back, do another check on the animals, take care of the kids, get them in bed, and start it all over again. Pretty routine.
All right, okay, so wait. Shane brought up an interesting point here. He says, "I just checked. You cannot order puzzle tests yet." Yes, you're right. This list is not coming out to Thursday. Thursday is the deadline to where they're opening up to everything. So Thursday this week, from what they said on their last podcast, that you could start ordering these tests. So my bad for saying right now, but coming up, like here shortly, 2 days.
You got everyone excited.
Yeah, but it's 2 days. Seriously, they did say Thursday. As soon as he said that, I was like, oh, crap. They did say Thursday. Sorry, my bad. Thursday. So, what social media sites do you have?
Too many? I would definitely like to skim that down, to be honest. But YouTube, I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm on Snapchat, but I don't use it for the company. Honestly, I'm thinking about deleting that because I think Snapchat's just garbage in general. But
All right.
I prefer Instagram, if I'm being honest. Like Instagram and YouTube are where I spend most of my time.
Yeah, Instagram and YouTube are my biggest two. I do cross post some to Twitter and Facebook, but I'm never really on it. But you said that you run a live show on Saturdays at 9. I wanted to shout that out because I was like surprised. I was like, dang, I didn't even know you did one. Like, so awesome. I'm going to check that out. Everyone check it out. Like, he's got his own podcast, 9 o'clock Saturday in the evening, Eastern Standard Time. Go check it on out. I will. So, what
Thanks,
is
Lex.
a short-term goal with the reptiles? Like within the next 1 or 2 years, where do you see yourself?
Short term, next year or two, I plan on being at about 20 clutches, give or take. Um, I don't I don't plan on ever being like crazy big. I like to do quality. Next year we're planning on moving, so I'm getting out of this El Paso heat. I can't deal with it anymore.
And it's like a weird time zone. It's like
Yeah,
different from the rest of Texas, right? It's like an hour
yeah,
behind the rest of Texas.
yeah. So we're like in that one little section where it switches to mountain time. So we're an hour behind the rest of Texas, and the heat here is just crazy because we've been consistently over 100 degrees for probably the last 30 to 40 days, and it's taken its toll. I want to get to northern Texas. My wife's family's from there, so we're
Right.
looking to get closer to Arlington and close to her family so we can help out. But
Right on.
so get it a successful move without interruption in my plans for breeding, and I'll be happy. That's the short term goal. But I would like to hit close to 20 clutches.
What's up, John Paul? That's cool. My mom's side of the family is from the Lubbock, Slayton area.
Yep.
I was actually born in Longview, Texas, down west of Dallas, near Texarkana or something. I don't know exactly where it's at. I know Texarkana is here, Dallas is here, and it's somewhere in between there. But Slayton and Lubbock were, yeah, the towns that my mom grew up in. My mom's whole side of the family's from Texas.
Sounds like good people.
Yeah, they're good people. She just got back today from the family reunion down there, and I regret not going every year. I should have went this year, but it just wasn't in the cards this year. But I got to go some year. I haven't seen them guys in probably 15, 20 years, and yeah, they're good people. All right, so we get into a little bit of the fun questions now, and I'll have to say, like John, he's a real trooper because I give my guests the options of seeing what I'm going to ask them. And he was like, "No way, dude! Surprise me! I don't want to know." So he's doing all this off the top of his head, like he has no clue what I'm about to ask him. So like I respect that. I thought it was worth saying. But so if you could have one superpower, what would it be? I mean, with kids, I'm sure, like super fast, like flash speed would help out because you're like done,
Uh,
relaxing.
it does have to fall with the kids, though. I would like to be able to. I guess it would be telekinesis to like instantly calm them down when they get in their little
Right?
rage moments.
Wouldn't that be sweet?
Yeah.
No more like spastic moments, like they're freaking out. Like, calm.
Yeah.
That would be nice. I like it.
I
Maybe
think that's the way
maybe
you have
Grogu
to
behind
go,
me could teach you
honestly.
that.
Like, okay, sleep. Okay, calm down. Okay, shh, just be quiet. Don't talk back. Because we say it all the time, but it never works.
That's so funny. But I mean, I understand that because my kids are a little older now. But man, just thinking back, if I could have just been like, "Calm down, it'll be all right," and they would have just like not had that meltdown, like it would have been, it'd have been a lot easier. So yeah, that's a good one. Good one. I think no one's ever said that. Like most of them, I could fly. Invincible, super strength. Mine's invisible because I could do anything I want invisible. That being able to calm your kids down. Good answer. I like it. So if you could spend a week anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Um,
A couple good ones coming up.
I would probably have to say Papua New Guinea.
New Guinea. All right. I mean, I have.
Most
I've
of the species that I really love come from that area. I'm obsessed with retics, but I absolutely don't have the room.
right.
So, but to be able to go out there for a week and herp and just spend time in the jungle would be nice. Like most of my travel has been like to beaches or beaches without water, so to speak, like
All right.
the Middle East. So it'd be nice to see some place with vegetation.
Nice. I mean, that's another different answer. I like it.
Oh.
So, all right, where are we at? All right. What advice would you like to go back and give your 18-year-old self?
A lot. um, don't be a D-bag.
Don't be a dick. That's always good advice.
Yeah. Don't be a D-bag. I definitely have a lot of I'm not going to say remorse. Like I did what I did. I lived up to it. I've worked through all the people that I've done wrong in my life.
Right.
Or at least I like to believe that I have.
At least there was an attempt.
Yeah. There was an attempt to fix, right? But just when I got out of high school, man, I was in a real bad way in my head. Like I had gone through a lot of traumatic stuff at that time in my life. And I was on a very downward spiral. So yeah, don't be a dick and just be kind to people and focus on what really matters in life.
Right. That's never bad information. I was kind of the same way when I got out of high school. I was 10 foot tall, bulletproof. You couldn't look at me sideways without me wanting to rip your head off. And there was no reason for it. For what? Just chill the fuck out. You don't need none of that. Moose said he would just go back and tell himself to shut up. I mean, I tell myself that now. What are you talking about?
It comes with age, man. Like the wisdom
definitely.
that comes. You're like, I could say something right now, but it's just
I
easier
just
to
rather
stay
not.
quiet.
Yeah, I just rather not. I don't have the energy to put up with the consequences of saying this. Like I don't want to. I'd rather just stay to myself and
Fists don't feel as good on my face as they used to. I could say that. And I don't recover as fast as I used to.
Yeah, that's just it. You don't recover as fast as you used to, like at all. Like what took a day to recover now takes a week.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous. I don't like to drink because of that. Because a hangover, like I'm 2 or 3 days and I'm still like, what the fuck did I do to myself? Like it ain't no couple hour thing. Like it's a week long agenda for a hangover. It's like hangover week. No.
It's funny. Yeah.
So I stopped drinking.
Yep. I'll have one every now and then, but I'll
have a few drinks here and there, but I won't drink to get drunk anymore, ever.
Yeah. I learned the hard way.
Oh yeah. So, would you rather know the future or be able to go back in the past to tell yourself something?
That's a hard one, man.
See, honestly, I always say I would rather know the future because then I would go and get the Powerball numbers tonight and come back, a couple hours and play them. And then anytime anyone I know needs a little bit of money, I'm like, hold on, I got your hookup. Get some money.
That's a double-edged sword for me, man. Because like my beliefs, I'm a Christian, so looking back at your past and like living in your past isn't good.
No,
so I don't want to do that. But also, I don't want to know my future because then I'm gonna avoid things, or I'm gonna already know what's happening. And just like with this interview, I would rather be surprised and just take it as it is and live in the moment. Like that's what we were brought to do. So,
I mean, I've taken that answer from other people. They was just like, neither, because that exact same thing. They'd rather live in the moment and not know ahead. I mean, that's acceptable, but what fun's that? I want the Powerball numbers like every time. I want to be the Guinness Book of World Records for winning a Powerball 20 times in a row. Then maybe I'll stop. I mean, I'll hook everybody up. Everybody's getting money. I'm not greedy. But that's what I would use it for. Just I wouldn't go too far ahead. I wouldn't want to know, what's coming a year from now. Just like what's coming this week. Let me grab them numbers.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay, so what would be your dream job?
I'm living it right now.
Wow.
Being a dad and just playing with animals all day. I've done a lot of things in my life. Like I was a mechanic for a little while. I was in a ridiculous amount of different sales jobs, which I guess I'm still in a sales job, but I enjoy this one versus the ones that I used to do that were super pressured. Like I just like talking to people. I was a bartender and a bar back and anything you could do in a restaurant besides management, I've done. All kinds of things. So I got a decent amount of experience, a lot of different medical positions. Just this one. Like I love playing with animals and I love being able to play with my kids all day. So
Yeah, great. That's awesome. I mean, I'd like to be a football coach on the side. I think that would be great. I wouldn't want to be like a pro football coach. I always thought teaching like younger kids would be cool because then you get to, develop them and then maybe one of your players goes, into the pros and stuff. I think that would be rewarding. I don't know.
okay.
I like football. It's like my second passion. It was like my first passion until I met snakes. And I'll have to say snakes took over the football passion. Like I hope the gods don't strike me dead, but they're football gods and I'm sorry. But yeah, I think I'm into snakes a little bit more than Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, I'd rather have a snake than a Steelers jersey. That's pretty weird for me to say. All right, where are we at? So you've won the Mega Ball. Say you win this $1.5 million. How far are you taking this reptile game?
Honestly, I don't think even if I won all that money, I don't think I'd ever take it beyond what I could do myself.
Right.
I would probably invest heavily in more of like what Will Banks did with incubators or dry goods or starting like my own line of enclosures or something if I had that type of money. Obviously investing in better animals just to take away a couple of the years. But
All right.
I don't think I'd ever want to do it where I had to have someone else working my animals for me.
I get that. I mean, of course, sir, I'd want to add, but it's like thinking about it now. I'd probably only want to stay around. I might get into some other species, but I'd only want to stay like 50 of each species. I wouldn't want 2,000 ball pythons, like 100 retics, or what I mean. It wouldn't go that far. I mean, I want a nice quality, quaint, high end collection. Like I want to be able to do it myself. I don't think I would trust people to do it.
So I
think
can
my
tell you
babies.
from experience. So I've had interns, I've had people that like wanted to learn come through here, and I have an extremely hard time letting go of control in this room.
I get that.
I also started a rat business here locally for a while now. I still supply some people, but I've dropped it down to mainly just take care of my collection and a couple of other breeders here locally. But when I was doing that, I brought in a couple of partners, and it was easy when it was small. And when we tried to grow it into like a nationwide thing and really started trying to ship and things like that and bringing it all together, that's when it got complicated and we started fighting. And I was just like, well, I want it this way and he wants it this way and he wants it this way. And it just never works out. So it's easier to just work by yourself. I'm not saying that it can't work out, but it's easier to do it as a solo thing and just keep it under what you're able to manage yourself. I'm not saying the drive to do that or do more isn't there, but until I haven't been able to unlock that door mentally, I guess, until I'm able to work more cohesively with other people. I'm just going to keep it where I can do it myself.
My daughter is just now, like, she's the one that got me into this. Like, I didn't really like snakes or anything. And then she says, Dad, look at these egg cutting videos. I started watching them and it blew my mind. And a year later, I have 26 snakes. But when I first started doing this, she was like, oh, yeah, let's get a snake or two. Then I got 5. Then I got, 10. And she was like, whoa, I don't want nothing to do with that many snakes. Like, it got scared. But now she's starting to get comfortable with them and hold them. And man, she freaks me out sometimes. I'm just like, well, what? Don't know nothing. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it that way. Like, so I'm patient with her, but I get where you're coming from because she makes me nervous. She puts her hands in places that I wouldn't put my hands in front of snakes, and I wouldn't put my hand in front of that snake like that. Like, just, the aggressive one. She's like, trying to pick it up from the front. And I'm like, no, what are you doing? Stop. Stop.
I have a girl right now that I'm so glad that she's getting ready to drop eggs because I don't have to feed her right now. But she gets me every week, like without fail. For some reason, she misses the rat and she gets my palm every week. So the last month has been wonderful. I'm just going to let you know that right now. The last month has been amazing. And my dumb self, I keep her at like face level. And you would think I would move her because I know her personality, but it's just,
Right.
It's one of those things. I'm used to her being there. I know once I get to this point, I'm going to take it in the palm and I'm just going to move forward. But
Maybe that's yourself just like, automatically keeping you honest. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'll take one. All right. I haven't been bit yet, by the way, but I take precautions to not get bit.
It'll come. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, people keep saying it'll come.
I have bought a couple of my snakes, actually. Not because they bit me, but my wife escaped through the first, I think the first 5 years that I was keeping snakes again without ever getting bit by anything.
Right.
And I was like, we went to Mary's house when she still lived in New Mexico, and we looked at her monarch collection. And that was the first snake that ever bit my wife. And I turned to her and I was like, I don't care what it costs. I'm buying that snake.
All right.
And so now we have a couple that have gotten my wife. And I was like, those are all keepers. We're keeping those just because you never have to deal with it. And then I get yelled at and I'm the only one that handles them now. So.
Yeah, I mean, I got hemostats. Every time I go to pick them up, I tap them on the head with the hemostats. They turn into a ball instantly, and I pick them up and they're fine. But this new one I got, Miley, she just ain't playing it. Like, I'll touch her head and she's like, get off me. What? I'm going to bite you. Where you at? I mean, she gets her head like 90 degrees and ready to launch up at me. Like, the other ones are just like, maybe at a 45. No way. She's like straight up 90. Like, where are you at? I want full length extension on you. I'm going to get you. She's a feisty one. What's up, guys? Thanks for coming in, bud. But yeah, this one's a different breed. She's kind of nasty. I don't think she's going to break it either. I hold her and she's fine, but it's just going to pick her up. No, ain't having it.
It's the way my retic is when you get her out of the enclosure. She makes herself look like she's the meanest thing in the world. But as soon as you get her out, she's a big old puppy.
Yeah, well, I believe in a snake's behavior tells me whether it wants to be picked up or not, and she's not ready yet. She's not there. What did Tim say? If you think you're... I'll have to check that out, Tim. I'm sure you got a couple, we'll say aggressive ones. Okay, so next question. Oh, shit. your $20,000 snake that you just made got loose in your house. How far are you going to find it?
Drywall's coming off. Installation's coming out. I better learn how to throw some conduit again, because
if I have to tear the roof off, the roof's coming
I'm
off.
going down to the frame.
Yep. So I'm right there with you. Like, the house will come apart and get put back together.
Yep.
I don't know. I came across that question. I don't know. I don't know if it was a podcast or I was just looking for podcast questions, and that came out instantly. I was like, that's just going to be a staple question that I ask for years, because I love it. It's funny.
Dude, I love them. Like, your questions are completely different than any other.
I try to be different.
I love this.
I dare to be different than anyone else. And I mean, if I start doing the same shit, I'll just get different again. You know what I mean? I keep evolving, and I like where I'm going. I mean, I always get good feedback about my questions, and I don't know. The people enjoy it. I enjoy it. I learn, and it's good. Great experience for me all around. Okay, next question is, what is one thing you wish you could get people that don't like reptiles to understand about our pets?
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd probably have to say that they're not a creepy crawly. Like, everyone wants to put them out, or they're not the things of nightmares. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've done like a little small education show somewhere just here locally, and they'll go, and I might get one or two kids to start out that will be willing to touch an animal, and then by the end of the show, I'll get like the parents that are deathly afraid, and it always seems to be that way.
Right.
And you break that stereotype, but I just wish it was easier to break that stereotype of, oh, it's slimy, or it's a creepy crawly, or it's the image of evil, or however people want to put it. You know what I mean? It's a hard thing to get past, but once you show the kindness and the demeanor of, I'm going to say 98% of these animals, especially if they're show animals and they get worked regularly. I mean, once you show them the demeanor, it almost breaks instantly. And then, like, you take the little cute ones that fit in the palm of your hand, and then you work your way up to the retic, and you get like the gasp and everyone wanting to run out, and then they finally hold it, and they're like, this is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they're our pets. It says it in the question, what do you want them to know about our pets? I mean, we have different pets than them. We don't have dogs, cats, or birds. I mean, we might too, but we have our reptiles, and they're pets, and they're domesticated, and they're not like that wild snake that's out there, that's scared to death of you. It's not even mean. It's scared to death of you. It's not that snake in the grass that's scared to death of you waiting to bite you. This is our pets. We raise these things from babies, and we know them, we trust them, and it would be really cool for just people that don't know and trust these things to just see that side of it, that they actually are pets.
100%. One of the big things that I tell a lot of people is they don't know they're actually under the list for emotional support animals. And the reason that they're allowed on that list,
what's up?
Is because of it's called, this sounds so stupid, because of hug therapy. So the constriction from the animal, or the constriction from snakes, falls under the same realm as hug therapy. So they got listed as an emotional support animal because it releases the same endorphins.
Well, coming from my experience, I was an addict for years. I'm 5 years clean, and from getting out of addiction and separating myself from those type of people, like my life got awfully boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then these snakes hit. It's not boring no more. These things have given me a spark, a fire, a will, to someone that just didn't think there was nothing out there exciting for them no more. I've been there, I've done that. I don't do drugs no more. I'm just going to be boring. And oh no, now I got snakes and nothing's boring. So these things have really given me, like, something to sink my teeth into, something. And there's miles that I could go with this. There's so many routes. Like I can't even sit here and name how many routes I could go with one snake, more or less 26. I mean,
Right.
it's endless. So I love it. And I don't know, it'd just be really nice if the people that they're just ignorant to reptiles could just know that side of it. It'd be cool. But
Absolutely.
so what is one piece of advice that you would give to a new breeder?
There's so much, man. Like I actually asked this question in my podcast. Research. I know we spit it out all the time, and it's the boring answer. But research. Find the animal that you love and research the crap out of it. And when you
Right.
think that you know everything about it, go find the OGs that have done it for 20 years and research under them some more. And that way you feel comfortable. Like I can't tell you daily how much I learn about ball pythons. I can't tell you how much daily that I learn about the simple animals like crested geckos or even our beardy. Like changing UVs on our beardy has completely changed the way that it interacts.
Wow. Yeah.
Just small things. So it really depends on the species, but find the species that you love. Don't jump in head first. You're going to just destroy animals. And I've seen so many people get into reptiles and either A, not take care of the animal right, so they lose it right away, or they lose it within the first year and it just completely decimates their want to keep reptiles, right?
Right.
Research. Be the best keeper you can, and it'll fulfill everything you're trying to do with these animals.
Yeah. Husbandry, like just study husbandry habits. I mean, you take care of these snakes, they'll take care of you. I mean, they're going to be happy. They're going to produce better. I mean, they're going to do what you want to do if you have good husbandry.
Freaking David.
Yeah, they're.
I gotta quit watching the comments. They're.
I'm trying to. It gets. That's the hardest part of this. Trying to, not crack up from some of the stuff that's going on in the chat and post it and acknowledge it. This is going on. Keeping up with you and ask questions. Like it's not easy. I'm getting better at it. Like I used to just ignore the comments. Like, but now I get to them a little bit more. But
there was a point, I think it was like a year and a half ago, where I had a solid group of like 10 people that were always in every show, regardless of who else came in. And their whole purpose of during the show was to see if they could get me to crack. So they would put the most random thing in the comments just to screw with me during my shows. And like,
nice.
There was a couple where it just completely stopped me. Like I forgot what I was talking about. I started laughing out of nowhere, and my guest was talking about something serious. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like I don't know what to say to you right now, but it just completely threw me off. And I was like, can you just read this comment and you'll understand why I did it?
Right.
But it's funny, man. Like I love the people that watch, and when they're interacting themselves, that's the best part. But like being
the
able
interaction
to
from chat,
it's great.
You guys rule aliens. And Dave from Synergy North, this guy here, he's just a cool dude. Like I say that a lot. He knows why, but yeah, he's just a cool dude. I like Dave. But if you could have dinner with 3 people who have passed, who would they be?
That's 3 people that have passed.
See, these last two questions, I was going to say, hey, I'm going to send these two questions for you so you could think about them because they have to do with naming people. But you said you didn't want none, so I didn't.
Yep. That's you're gonna make me go back on my word, man. 3 people that have passed. Jesus, my grandpa, and George Washington.
Jesus. You went with Jesus.
Yep.
I mean, hey, that's who better? Who better than? You know what I mean? But I mean that's pretty cool. George Washington. I mean, I get that one, and then your grandpa. Yeah, good
So
answers.
my grandpa was the top to be on. He's the reason I went into the military in the first place, and so that trauma that I was talking about when I was a kid, that was
Right.
him passing, and then stuff that was happening within my house. But he passed when I was young, so I didn't really get to enjoy my grandpa the way that a lot of people would. So it'd be nice to have a dinner with him again. Jesus, obviously, just because I have a lot of questions, and it'd be easier
Boy,
to have
yeah.
like, just straightforward answers right away.
Boy, would I have a lot of questions for him too. Just
Yeah. And then George Washington, I say that just because of the tactical mind with
right.
everything that him being a red coat and then coming over to our side and just the way that he helped shape and form this country and the way that it's just changed so drastically, even in the last 10 years, like the way that this country's changed
Yeah.
blows my mind. So like trying to understand the tactics that you get taught in the military or like military schools, or if you like history or being a tactician, you look into that stuff, right? But
Yeah.
that to be able to converse about it and be able to like really dive in, well, why did you choose to do this way?
What up, Chris?
I would like to understand that a little bit better.
Right. I'm kind of a history buff, and I go back and watch a lot of history documentaries. And I just probably about a month ago, I watched a documentary on the first days of the war with the redcoats, where they came up the bay and basically almost got totally annihilated, and they had to sneak across the river at night to retreat and back up. I mean, we almost lost that war right from the get-go. It was almost over in like day 2. We was on like 50% of the army was wiped out, and then they backed up and regrouped and kicked the British's ass somehow. But it was real close to being early.
Oh, yeah.
Over real quick. Okay, so the last regular question I have for you is, if you got stranded on a deserted island and you could pick 5 people to be there with you, you and who else? 5 people.
My family.
I would say my kids, Bear Grylls, and a woman.
A wife and 3 kids, so that the kids can do all the manual. No, I'm just kidding.
I would have a survivalist there. I mean, I would need one of these, professional survivalists. Bear Grylls, Cody Lundeen, one of them. Just.
So that's one of the things me and my wife fall into. So like you learn it a little bit in the military, not extensively, but
I went through
basic survival in the military. Yeah. But that's one of the things that since we've gotten out, we study it a lot. So we know like primitive fire making, how to do primitive shelters, stuff like that. So I feel pretty comfortable, like especially in a desert, because I've lived in a desert the majority of my life.
Right.
How to set up. So like an island where as soon as I find a clean water source, I'm pretty much good. You can figure out food once you find clean water, but
yeah,
that's the hardest part.
All right, so we got about 5 minutes left. I like to keep it in an hour, so 6-7 months from now, if I need another person to come back on, I can hit you up, and you're like, yeah, it's only an hour, maybe I'll come back on. But we do like to have a couple quickies at the end of the show, and they're just real simple, quickie questions. Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Straight up. Me too. Wouldn't mind a sponsorship. BK or McDonald's?
Neither.
Yeah, I mean, if I have to
If
pick
I
one, it's
had to choose
McDonald's.
McDonald's to keep the wife happy, but neither.
I ain't eating. I'll take the kids to McDonald's, and I usually don't eat there. I might get a milkshake or something. Maybe a sweet tea. I do like their sweet tea. So, at like, the setting is like a family wedding. Are you dancing, not dancing, or slow dance only?
Slow
What's up,
dance
Danny?
only. My hips are too beaten up to try to act like a kid anymore. Or
Yeah, I
no, I'll
mean,
do the line dancing too, like line dances and slow dances.
it's been a while since I tried to cut a rug, but I tell you, I think I'd be more prone to slow dance now, anyways, because I'm getting old and my ankle's just busted. Hey, Moose, see you later, buddy. Thanks for coming in, dude. And all right, skydive or no way?
I'm gonna say no way right now. My wife's really trying to convince me into it, but no way.
It's fun. I mean, I've done it. It's fun. I mean, I don't think my ankles would take it now because it is once again hard on your ankles and probably why my ankles are screwed up. But I mean, it is fun while you can do it. And the last one I got is, what is one all-time game show that you wish you could have been a contestant on?
Jeopardy when Alex Trebek was still on it.
Nice. Mine's The Price is Right with Bob Barker on it.
Nice.
It's got to be Bob Barker. Got to be.
Drew Carey just doesn't do it justice, man.
He's not Bob Barker. I mean, that's just it. All right, we got probably about 3 minutes left. Anything else that you want to put out there that we didn't talk about? You want to show a snake for a couple minutes? Anything? This is your time.
Yeah. So I gotta see if they've eaten or not. Where you at? So we will be at Arlington. I'm heading out to Pomona Friday. We will be vending Arlington though. A lot of our available babies will be there before I mark them all on Morph Market. This boy will be available. Ooh. So you brought it up, and it's funny, but so this is a Blade. He just ate, so I'm not gonna mess with him too much. This is a Blade DG clown.
Ooh.
And I know people feel a certain way about Blade, but I really like the richness that he brought back to the DG.
But see, that's not super reduced, so I don't mind that one.
Almost looks leopardish on.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks leopardish.
And that's compared to, come here, Bubba. Where are you at? That's not it. You would think I would know where they are. There we go. So that's compared to regular DG cloud. So the regular DG is a little bit lighter. This brought more of a copper tone back to it. But
wow,
I really like them both.
I kind of like the color of the Blade one better.
They're both pretty. The stuff that I want to put into DG Clown, I think Blade's going to negate what I'm trying
What's
to
up,
pull
James?
out of it.
Right.
So me and my partner Brandon from Oodles and Noodles decided to go another route. And he's going to get that male for the DG Clown. And then I have this. Come here, mamas. Come here. Gorgeous. She's freaking insane.
Ooh.
That's a fire DG Clown.
That's what I was going to say. Is that fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I love
it.
I love it.
That's nice.
Amazing. And she might have yellow belly, but whoa, careful, mama. I don't think so, just based off of the flaming. I'm not seeing the coloration around the belly that I would expect.
Right.
But so yeah, we got really lucky with that. We hit a bunch of double recessives. We have hypo puzzles coming soon.
Nice.
I'll be at Pomona, be at Arlington, I'll be at Tinley. I'm not vending Pomona or Tinley, but we'll be hanging out, rubbing shoulders. If you guys want to see anything that we're going to be bringing to Arlington before I put it on Morph Market, just hit me up. Our show's Saturday night at your Eastern, so we'll just go off of Eastern, not to screw with everyone. 9 p.m. It's called Outside the Clutch. We have different breeders from every different species. It's not just to ball pythons anymore, which I'm pretty excited about. And yeah, I think that's about it. You can find me on all major social medias except for Snapchat because it's stupid.
How many DG clowns do you have?
Those three.
Those three.
Yep. And then I have about 12 combinations that are either clown, pos DG, or fire yellow belly combinations that might be carrying clown and DG in them that I have to get shed tested. So,
all right.
But
all right.
Everything will be going besides those last 2 DG clowns that I showed you.
Nice. All right, John, it's been great. I mean, you've been a great guest. Great answers. People in the chat, 18 of you hanging around. Thank you. Much appreciated. You guys are awesome. You rule. Till next week.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you later.
Thanks, everybody.